could read this in such a way that it looks like it's okay to abuse me. Right? It's okay. I'll turn my cheek and you can just keep wailing on me any way you want. But what's interesting about this is Jesus is talking to his disciples. Alright? He just got through preaching the Sermon on the Plain in Luke's Gospel, and he talked about the blessings and woes, and then he turns around and looks at the 12 and says, love your enemies. Well, one of the reasons I think Jesus did this is because the 12 still thought of Jesus as a warrior Messiah. They still thought that Jesus was going to raise up an army and defeat the Romans, right? So we already know later on that they start to have these little spats about who's the greatest, right? Who's going to sit at my left hand? Who's going to sit at my right? And what Jesus is actually telling the disciples today, which I believe that he's telling us, is that the ethics in which we live by with each other are different than the ethics of the world. You see, the world doesn't love their enemies. They're thinking about ways in which to what? Destroy them. Amen? Right? The world doesn't care about lending you money. By the way, it's always been interesting to me. Money is one of the root that causes most marital strifes. I'm telling you, it does, right? And you come in and they start to look at their finances. They got 9 credit cards at 23%. Those people giving you the credit cards aren't being kind to you. They don't care. They don't care, that you can now go out and buy something, right? They're not giving you money expecting you not to get anything in return. Everybody get that? The world works that way. We all know that, right? None of us have 23% interest credit cards. I pray. Okay? If we do, get rid of them. Because they're not doing it for the goodness of their heart. Right? And he's saying to the people there, the disciples, and saying to us, don't treat your Christian brothers and sisters like the world treats themselves. Right? Be kind to them. If your brother or sister needs something, give it to them. Help them out. Don't expect something in return. Right? You all have that friend. You know the one. That, you're afraid to give them anything because you're going to owe them. Right? You know what I'm talking about? They've got a list, You give them one thing and they get 15 in return. My son's like that. He drives me nuts. Right? I like, if I do this, I'm going to have to do this, and this. All right? We shouldn't be expecting from others. But we should be giving with the amount that we're giving. What Jesus is telling his disciples today and telling us, our identity has been changed because we are Christ. How much did Christ love us? He gave his life for us. Amen? How much does Christ give for us? He gives unconditionally. Right? He gives us all our blessings, and he doesn't ask a whole lot in return, except for us to do what? Love one another. I am frustrated at some of the ethics that's in the world today. Right? I'm telling you right now, please don't look at the stupid things I did when I was 19. I'm serious. You cannot, the world has changed a lot since 1965. Thanks be to God. Right? It has changed a lot. But we constantly are judging people by 2019 standards for something that happened in 1965, 1975. And it might have been wrong then. We might have not noticed it. You know what I'm saying? I can remember being as a kid, living in Brunswick, Georgia, seeing the colored-only families, the white-only families. I remember in 1968, George Wallace ran for president, and he came to Brunswick, Georgia, and the Ku Klux Klan was the one that brought him through the city with their robes. And I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I was 8 years old. It looked like a spectacle to me. I got to figure out what was going on. It wasn't until later I realized that ain't very good. Right? I grew. I hope all of us are growing. Right? But the point being is we cannot continue to judge people. In this passage, Christ is calling us to forgive others. Amen? When things happen, right, it's not that you just let people walk over you, but you say to them, you know, you hurt my feelings. It's time, can we fix this? Let's be reconciled. We shouldn't be like the world. Right now, we've got a whole world that's judged on one side or the other. Correct? And we're all looking at each other, and we're not loving, and we're not even listening to each other. And by the way, the church is the same. And it frustrates me. The church is the same, the Christian church. You got half the church that's mad at the other half of the church for whatever policy they're at, and they don't even talk to each other. They don't expect growth. I expect growth. In today's gospel, Jesus is telling us, I'm giving you something hard. I need you to love. I need you to forgive. I need you to give. Right? This is the most difficult thing we will ever do. And we're to model that behavior in this building and with our brothers and sisters. And if we do that, the world, I think, will get an idea of how they can change. After I read this, I started thinking, well, I think this whole passage says to love graciously, forgive unconditionally, and to practice radical hospitality. Amen.